Three, two, one. Welcome to the SaaS Pulse Show. My name is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of SaaS Talent. And very excited today, have an amazing woman founder from the Philly area, Philly proud. Actually, no, she's from Austin now, but I know people. She's from Philly. Her company has people from Philly. It's Kristin LaSalle. She is the co-founder of Vengo AI, which is a cutting-edge digital companion. Amazing stuff. She was telling me about it in the pregame. The future. The future is here, right? With AI. She also has some other companies that she works on, but the focus really is going to be Vengo AI. So it's great to have you on the show, Kristin.
Hi, thanks, Michael, and thanks for allowing a woman founder to have a space to talk to you about tech. I'm really excited today.
Totally awesome. So I actually have known Kristin for many years. She is a veteran. So anybody that's listening to this right now, Kristin, Kristin might, you look at Kristin, you're like, you're not, she's like, but she's been in tech for many years, right? With a company called Instamore, which was the leading company for video dating apps back in the day. But they took a lot of this knowledge and now they're building some new things that are really, really cutting edge in terms of Vengo AI, this digital companion. So let's get right into it here, Kristin. What I love to start with is always the superhero backstory, right? So your background and journey that led you to where you are today. So give us a snapshot of that.
Okay, so I've always had an entrepreneurial kind of spirit. I've been in pharmaceutical sales, commercial lending. Every company I've ever worked for, for some reason, turns to gold. So I've been very lucky, and it's really brought a lot of passion out in me. But marketing is my forte. I like to see things like use smart marketing and use tech to see brands and different companies be able to really express themselves. I think that everything I've ever learned kind of came to fruition and is why I'm where I am today, because I took each piece. Now, I've always been at the end piece, the closer, but when you're in marketing, you're in the beginning piece. And without good marketing, nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody knows who you are.
Definitely.
So smart marketing is really an essential piece to any startup or any company out there. With our new AI, we're able to take different brands and tell a story, but also share basically who you are with your fans and with your customers in a way that's very unique. And it's also a way that hasn't been explored yet.
Nice.
So we're kind of excited to introduce, Vengo today.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'm really super psyched. I mean, everybody could see the value. I mean, imagine having your own digital companion, right? AI that helps you build digital stuff, right? That's what we're talking about here. So let's get right into it here. The product. So give the audience the elevator pitch. What
Sure.
is the product? What is the value proposition? What does it do?
Sure. So we have two companies. One is Spinner, which is going to be your community for your brand. It's going to be where you can engage with video to your fans in a authentic space,
Hmm.
and you'll be able to talk to them one-on-one. It's also used for friendships and community, like I said. But Vengo AI is basically going to revolutionize the way that AI is able to connect brands with their fans. You are able to blend a video community, but also AI creator marketplace. When I say a creator marketplace, what I mean is, Michael, you have a lot going on. You have a book, you have a podcast. Now you're able to make a Michael AI persona, but
Hmm.
you're also able to monetize everything that you've done over the years, and you're going to be able to make money.
Nice.
So when your fans buy your AI persona, you're able to keep a portion of that revenue. And that's going to be really awesome for you because you can pour that into your own marketing. You can use the money however you need to monetize it and grow your company. But you're also going to be able to use your AI to talk to your fans when you're busy creating. because you're not going to be able to, you only have two hands. And now your AI is going to be like your personal assistant with a little added sparkle to it, because it's going to be, you're creating its brain, you're going to be able to create its personality, and it's more authentic.
Hmm. So very curious, obviously, how this works, right? So we all of us creators, I'm building a lot of content on LinkedIn, doing more on YouTube, TikTok, right, Instagram, all these places. So let's go one level deeper, Kristin. So what is this AI digital companion like? What is it building for me? Like, what are the things that it's like? So I get the fact that I need a companion to help me get these things built, right? What is it actually building, and like, how does it work?
Yes, so your AI companion that you're building, it will have everything in one space instead of your fans and everyone trying to look for you on all different socials and avenues. Everything's going to be in one space. They're just going to come to Vengo. They're going to have Michael's persona, and you're going to be able to answer questions for people. You're going to be able to have conversations. You're going to be able to tell them about your new book or your new podcast, your new releases. They don't have to go anywhere else. So it's kind of like
Hmm.
your own marketplace. Um, there's going to be basically, there's also going to be a community for you. So you can go on to Spinner and you can have a community to talk to your fans in real time when you do have time. But when you don't have time, your Vengo AI persona can talk to your
Oh,
fans. Um, you don't get that on other platforms. It's a lot of noise. This is going to keep everything authentic in a smaller space, but also be able to create a place, like almost like, when I say marketplace, I mean it's a one-stop shop for Michael, right? So
very
yeah,
cool.
so they don't have to go anywhere else. You're also going to be able to help people with your skills. A lot of entrepreneurs, they get a lot of people reaching out because they're like, how did you write that book? How did you start a podcast? They have a lot of questions, and you can't answer everyone, and you want to. Your heart's in it. You want to answer everyone. You just don't have the time.
Right.
Your AI persona is a virtual you, basically, and will be able to answer them in the most authentic way, so they feel like they're really speaking with you.
Wow, that's amazing. So let me make sure I understand high level and for the audience. So you're going to Spinner, right? That's the community. And
Mhm.
then when I'm in Spinner, right? Maybe I'm just a user of Spinner, but then I'm a creator in Spinner, right? So there's two sides to that marketplace. There's Spinner user, Spinner creator. The Spinner creator has the opportunity to use Vengo AI to basically automate their content, have an AI assistant that does that stuff, answers questions, does all that, right? As high level as that makes sense?
That makes complete sense.
Okay.
Spinner, I mean, Spinner helps people not just to be if you're a creator. Spinner is a community for anybody who just wants to have authentic conversations, make friends, join a community that's really about hobbies and interests. But they're also going to be able to engage with different brands and people like you, Michael, that have skills to offer. And then if you have a community in Spinner and people love what you're doing, they may buy your AI persona. So if they buy your AI persona to learn those skills, let's
Oh,
say they want to learn how to write a book or
got it.
start a podcast or be in tech, they'll go to Vengo and they'll be able to ask you questions, and you'll be able to help them on their
Wow.
journey.
Okay, so I get it. So I'm building
Yeah.
this AI persona. It is helping me build content, right? People can
Hmm.
purchase that to learn how to do the things that I know how to do. You guys take a cut. You guys take a small cut of that, right?
Yeah,
Interesting.
we're letting you take a cut as well. So that's
Yeah.
why it's a marketplace for creators. As you see in the news, there's a lot of there's a lot of things going on that could harm creators. Creators also have to have relevant content 24/7. They have to be creating. With Vengo, you really can, it's so easy that the average person can do it. You don't have to have tech skills to make a Vengo persona. You just have to have knowledge, a knowledge base, and things to offer to help other people,
Right.
right? So someone like you could do this. You have tech skills, but someone average out there that doesn't really use the computer but has written 12 books and wants to share how to be an author, they can also make a Vengo very easily. It probably would take them 5 minutes,
Hmm.
and you can add to it at any time. So let's say you write another book, Michael, or you have more podcasts that you want to share, you would just, upload this into the knowledge base of
Hmm.
your AI. And it's kind of nice too, because it's verified that that is you,
Mhm.
right? So there's only one Michael Bertoni. So that would be verified, and they're getting that knowledge base from you.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm so very curious about how it captures the knowledge of me, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about creators like myself, I mean, I'm a miniature creator, but I mean, I have everything in LinkedIn from years and years. I mean, you have all your emails. I mean, you have so many things that can like explain to an AI like who I am. But yeah, I have so many questions, but I know we can't get into it. But
It's very
that's it.
interesting. It's new. It's fun. Um, like you said, anything can really go into your AI. It could be text messages. It could be interviews that you've had on TV. It could be encrypted magazine articles that you want to show people. Like when you speak and it's recorded, this AI is able to have everything. It kind of picks up on everything you're loading into the AI. It's going to pick up on your personality. And so it's going to answer the way that Michael would answer to the best of its knowledge. AI is not
Yeah.
perfect, but it's going to be as close to you as it possibly can be.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, the future is here, everybody. I mean, you're going to have like AI persona sidekicks basically for probably many things, right? I mean, in the future, like
Yes.
you're going to have the AI persona that answers your wife, and you're going to have the AI persona that talks to your kids, and you're going to have it's going to be all right, brave new world, right? I mean, that's where we're going. So this is the AI that's going to help you with your digital content, right? So what I'm very curious about is I'm very curious actually about how you're selling this, right? Are you selling it to influencers and creators? Like I'm thinking that major influencers and creators, right? They have money, but they're also like solopreneurs, right? So how is that working? Like how do you do that?
So I think you'll like this. Actually, the revenue plan is pretty simple. We we obviously need creators and people with knowledge base. So people who have already established that they've written a book, made a movie, they know how to do, they have a certain skill that's valuable to the members that want to buy the AI personas. They come on for free.
Hmm.
Okay. They're not paying us because it's a mutual relationship here. They might have, here's an example. If Chef Ramsay decides he wants to put all his cookbooks, all his knowledge, and wants to make an AI persona, he has 42 million, followers. He would put that persona up to his followers and say, "Hey, if you want to learn more, you want to talk to me 24 hours a day, you can buy my AI persona. It's very affordable. So the consumer will buy it to learn his recipes, and it's only $2.99. It's not very expensive. The Spinner app, now on the other hand, is free to build your community in there. If you just want to make friends and you just want to learn new hobbies, it's absolutely free, because there is going to be people who don't want to be involved with AI, and they want to talk to people in real time. And there's going to be people who don't want to talk to real people and they just want to talk to the AI. So we had to make two platforms for two worlds, right? But we also, some people want to talk to both. So we've made a very interesting way of communicating for these brands, because you can talk to your fans in real time in your community on Spinner, but while you're sleeping, you can also talk to your fans with your AI persona and make money and monetize it.
Yeah, my general feeling at a high level is you're talking about something super complex, right? And
Oh,
we're
absolutely.
and we're figuring it out. So my general feeling is, could you have one brand, right? Like so it's like and then like one thing is like part of that brand, right? So meaning you're like it's like could you have like Spinner and then Vengo AI is in there as a product, or could you have Vengo AI and Spinner? Right. That's what my brain is thinking. Like, because everything we're talking about is also abstract right now. It's like it's
Yeah.
all so new, but that's just what my gut is saying. But yeah, let's keep rolling
Yeah,
here.
Michael, it's interesting you say that. We really are the first marketplace for these Vengo AI personas. There is other chat boxes and things out there, and services, but they're not at this level of like actually having a community as well. We also really prioritize safety and non-toxicity because we noticed that, on other platforms, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of negative things that people don't want to see. There's a lot of advertisement where I think at some point you stopped caring about what you're building and who you're building for, and they started. It's like it's greed, right? It's like you can't go on any other platform without having 100 different things popping up at you. The thing with Vengo AI and Spinner is you don't have that. There's no ads in our app. There's no influence. If you want to learn a certain hobby, that's the community you can go into. You don't have to see anything else. You don't have to be bombarded. This is really, we're looking for long term. We want to be a household name. We don't want to just have a cash grab, right?
Yeah.
Where we didn't build a community for our users.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of innovation and trying to figure out the business model and like how the whole thing works. I mean, it's super exciting.
Well,
Um,
the good thing is, Michael, the business model is already figured out. Spinners Live has thousands of users. We already have tons of brands on there that are doing really well.
mm,
They've actually been able to increase their revenues by having their community. And then Vengo is built. So we figured it out. We just have to get the word out there that we exist. Because we are a startup. We're not a huge company, but we are backed. I don't know if you saw this, but we are backed by some big companies like Microsoft, NVIDIA, OpenAI. They've all supported us with grants and services. They believe in what we're doing. And
yeah.
we're here to stay. We just have to get the word out that we do exist. Because I think once people pick up on what we're creating, they're going to want to
Yeah.
also create what we're creating because they've been trying to figure out that gap in the market and we kind of figured it out.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing. I mean, so as you know, being at Instamore, right? The hardest thing is getting people to care.
Oh,
So it's
totally.
like it's like, all right, we got to really get people to care here. How are we going to do this? Right? So, nah, I mean, I totally get it. I mean, it's like, but I'm going to check it out and I mean, Spinner sounds amazing. Yeah, so
It's a lot of fun. It remind
When I go to Spinner, is do I have is Vengo AI like inside of the space of Spinner essentially, or do I have to go to another place to like look at Vengo AI?
Sure. So when you go into Spinner, it's right on the App Store. So you'll just download it like any app. When you go into Spinner, there's communities like squads that are created, and there is a Vengo AI squad that tells you in detail how to get started. And there'll be other members in there that you could talk to who have already purchased or they've already made an AI persona for their brand. So you can kind of talk to other people too, which is nice because if you're kind of lost, it's new. You're like, how do I get started with Vengo? You're going to have real people telling you how to get started. Vengo AI is a separate website that you will go to right now. It will be in application, but it is on platform right now.
Yeah, it's funny. The other day I rewatched the Facebook, right? And I was like, remember when they got to 1 million users, right? And it was like,
Yes.
oh, it was like, yay, like something like that is going to be this, right? And we hope it's you guys. But
Absolutely.
how many users do you have now? Like what's the user count look like right now?
So for Spinner, it's been slow and steady, a lot of organic growth, but we have 25,000 users. We're pretty new still.
Yeah.
Vengo is very new. Vengo is just getting started. So we don't have a ton of people because nobody knows about it yet. And we haven't really been advertising yet, but we certainly will. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
That's awesome.
one of our one of our biggest oppositions right now is we don't have funding yet. So we're really limited on our marketing, budget. So we're only able to get about 50 plus new users a day. If we were to get the funding that we're, um, looking for right now, we'd be able to get about 5,000, even more per day. So we'll be able to get to 1 million users by the end of the year. And that will be a huge accomplishment for us because once we get there, like you said, 1 million users, like you were watching the Facebook story, once we get there, we're definitely going to be a competitor in the market. I mean, we were the first to really come up with this marketplace and
Yeah.
this community, like to combine a healthy community for it and to really get the brands another way when a lot of the other companies are having trouble. Everything's unknown. It's all up in the air. These content creators are complaining. They don't know how they're going to make money. Well, here we go. Here's the new next best thing. But we just have to get the word out there. And we definitely need to get more users. And that all comes down to funding. And we also would need about 20 more developers. Because as you said, this is complex. When you're building AI, that's one of the hardest things to build compared to when we built Spinner. It wasn't as hard as building Vengo AI. So this is taking up a lot more resources, time, and we do
Yeah.
have a very healthy team. We have 20 employees, but we need more.
Yeah. I mean, that's something like we talked about with Jason. I mean, so that's what we are focused on right now as a company is AI talent in Latin America. So yeah, I mean, so that's a follow-up discussion, but let's keep rolling here.
Yeah,
This has
Jason
been
is
great.
bilingual, so that would really be helpful. So,
Yeah. Well,
um,
I know Jason real well. I know there's a term that we use DIY. Like I know a lot of founders DIY it, right? They get the talent themselves, right? And so yeah, it's worth a conversation. I mean, I'll connect them. It's so cool to reconnect with you through Jason because I had more relationship with him. But let's roll into the last question here. I love this last question because again, Kristen has been in the startup world for many years. She has great advice, right? So, what are the two or three biggest piece of advice that you would give other startup founders, people listening to this that want to become an entrepreneur? What are those two or three biggest piece of advice you give them?
well, never give up. Everything that you do, even if you have to pivot and change because of the marketplace or what's trending, doesn't mean you failed, right? It means you're learning and you're evolving. And that's huge because I think a lot of people think if they didn't make it, or they think it's going to happen overnight. It doesn't. It could take years.
Yeah,
But you get better and better as you learn and as you grow, and your failures become success. Always focus on solving a real problem. Our biggest focus for Spinner was we actually came out with it during the pandemic. We realized that the loneliness epidemic was huge. 60% of Americans were suffering from, mental and health illness. And we were like, we want to build a really authentic community for the long term. And we don't just want, like I said before, to build something for a cash grab. That's not going to be a household name. That's not going to stick around. We see a lot of startups, they get really big, really fast. They get a lot of users, but then they end up having a lot of problems down the line and they end up everything they did that was successful backfires
right,
and they don't end up lasting. So slow and steady is sometimes not so bad because you're going to get the problems. They're going to be small when you get them and you're going to fix them. You're going to fix them. And your biggest concern is how do I make a better space for, my customers? If you can solve the problem, you're going to get loyalty because people see you actually care and you're authentic and they see that you're not just like going with the trend. You might be a little out there. They might say, wow, what are you guys doing? And like, this is weird. But at the end of the day, if the problem gets solved, and we are solving two big problems right now, we're solving problems for content creators and people who have a lot of skill and knowledge but don't know how to get it out there. And we're also solving a problem for people who are seriously lonely, need a safe space. They want to communicate, they want to learn new hobbies and interests, but they just don't know how. So we're kind of solving a lot of problems in one, but for the long haul.
nice. Well, Kristen, it's been so awesome having you on the show. Again, it is Kristin LaSalle. She is the co-founder of this awesome company, Vengo AI, as well as Spinner. and spinner.app, and it's on the App Store. So go check it out immediately. So Kristin, it was awesome having you on the show, and I'm looking forward to continuing to stay in contact.
I can't wait. And oh, one more thing, it's Philly Tech Week. Hi, everybody in Philly. I'm thinking about you. Have a great one, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.